Sharath Kohli, taking a look at the economic implications of this. Now, India and Indian nationals' income is growing. The aspiration levels of Indian nationals are also growing. When you talk about the purchasing power by individuals, and the country as a whole is on a path of progress, and therefore brings about opportunities for all these countries to invite Indian nationals to spend their currency in their respective countries, and it's a win-win situation for all.
Well, absolutely, Megha. Fifth largest economy in the world. I would say fastest growing economy in the world. I think those two tags, Megha, are good enough for us to carry. So personally speaking, I completely agree with Ambassador Mukherjee that, this is a reciprocal arrangement. If we are allowed in 57 countries, well, most of those countries come from Africa. Some of them are, isolated islands here and there. I mean, the most sought after countries where Indians prefer to visit are those European countries, or probably United States of America and some of the other developed countries. But personally speaking, Megha, I have a totally radically different point of view. For me, it doesn't matter if we can only fly to 57 countries without a visa or visa on arrival. It really doesn't matter, because as Ambassador Mukherjee said, I would like to reiterate that India has been a victim of terrorism for a very long time. So we cannot allow free entry to people coming because somebody can. I mean, look at what has happened to Seema Haidar. I mean, she walked in without a visa here. She just went to Nepal. So a country as small as Nepal, we don't have a passport system. I mean, you can literally walk down into that country, buy an Aadhaar card. And I went to Nepal a couple of months ago, and even my Aadhaar card was not checked. You'll be surprised. I just got my name registered at the border with the Seema Suraksha, whatever it is. I just got it registered there, and I was in the country. So with such porous borders and porous movement from across the world, I think India per se cannot afford to do that. So therefore, personally, for me, from an economic point of view, yes, the more Indians are able to fly abroad freely, they are able to land in the countries freely, the more business will prosper.
Yes, you make all those important points. Again, lost connection with my panelists. Okay, fair enough. Sharath Kohli, since there was an equation that was being drawn and a comparison being made between the first biggest populated country, India, and the second biggest populated country, China, I was trying to look at what China's position is when it comes to the index rankings that have been given. Obviously, China is much more ahead than India is. So is there going to be a direct competition between China and India, and in terms of how the global supply chains have also now been brought about with such a massive differentiation? The perception of the world towards China has also changed. So perhaps China's ranking may slowly trickle down while India's continues to rise up.
Yes, spot on, Megha, because India is on its way to where China was, shall I say. India is the decoupling from China, or China plus one policy in terms of the economics I'm talking about. I think that is coming to the fore sooner than one can imagine. Look at the number of companies which are relocating themselves away from China. So I think India is gradually gaining momentum. And in this whole index business, Megha, I'm not questioning the method of calculating the index, unlike some other indexes like that silly hunger index or whatever. This index is fairly easy to calculate. All you need to do is to find out which passport lands in which places without a visa. It's very simple to calculate. But don't you smell racism in this index? There is a smell of racism, not in the method of calculation, but in the outcome of index. It clearly shows that racism, the colonial mindset, is still there, because most of the countries, as we've been talking in the show, most of the countries are in the Western world, and they still think they are sitting in heaven. So my message to Indians is that these places, I travel as much as Sumit travels. Sumit mentioned about 8 passports. I have 8 to 9 passport bundle in front of me as well. My experiences and my message to the viewers of NewsX who are aspiring to go and settle down and treat these places as heavens. For God's sake, they no more a heaven. The Western world is not the same what it used to be, let's say 10, 15 years ago. People are vying for employment. Look at the unemployment index in these countries. Look at Germany, look at France, look at Italy, look at Spain. These are the 4 countries I mentioned, Megha, who are in the top list of this index.
Correct.
There is rampant unemployment. So what are you going there for? You're going there to make a life. You're going there for standard of living. You're going there for income. It's not the same anymore. There is proper garibi which is showing up in these countries. Well, the grass is always green on the side, but when you go and see, I think Sumit will endorse my point. When you go and see what is happening at the ground, I have seen people begging on the streets of London, Megha, during COVID. I have seen people dying of hunger in America during COVID. Is this what a developed world is?
Yeah.
I think the days of the developed world are over. Let's not crave to go into these countries and settle down. Let's not be worried about 57 countries or whether it is 100 countries. The fact of the matter is, India is tomorrow's time is India's time, and you will see people craving for the Indian visa in very near future, Megha. Just wait for us to grow quicker than we are growing.
I couldn't. Fair enough. All right. On that note, I am completely out of time. I thank my panelists for joining me on this telecast, and thanks for watching Newsax.